Hi lovely, welcome back to my channel. This is Threadline Clothing. So today I'll be putting you through on how to achieve this beautiful top. So it has an overlap at the back and so it also has a pleat, like a slash and spread split on the shoulder. And I'll be using about like 1 yard of fabric for this. So if you're on a plus size, you might need about 1.5 to 2 yards. So guys, let's get right into the video. So I have already folded my pattern paper into two. So because it's a slash and spread, you will need to yes, fold it into two. So I'm trying to mark out my point here, my bust point, shoulder point, my waistline, and to the full length of my dress. So the full length of this dress, I don't want it too long. I'm using about 18 inches here. So plus the ruffle altogether, I was going to end up at around 20 inches at the end of the day. So guys, I've gone ahead to draw my horizontal lines, and the first thing I did is to measure the neckline, and also I mark out my shoulder, shoulder to shoulder divided by 2, and I'm adding about 5 inches extra for the part that is going to have like an off a kimono. The other shoulder is going to be sleeveless, while the other one will be kimono. So this dress, if you look at the thumbnail very well, one side is having like a kimono, the other one is just sleeveless. So after that, I came down from the neck, from the line there, I came down by 0.75 for my shoulder slope. And from that shoulder slope, I'm going to measure the armhole. So I believe we already know how to draw our armhole. So for this, I will be drawing out the armhole and curve the armhole line. But I'm not going to be cutting it together at the same time. So I will cut out the kimono part first, then I'll trim off the curve, the armhole part later. So let me just finish up this armhole line here. So the next thing I'll do is to measure my uh, shoulder sleeve opening for the kimono side of it. I have done that, and I'll go ahead and measure my body circumference plus allowance. So I don't want the clothes to be really tight, but if it's too big, you might not like it. But I don't like my clothes too tight, so it's very free on me. And I went ahead to measure the waist circumference divided by 2 plus allowance, and also my hip circumference divided by 2 plus allowance. So I advise you do like just 1 inch or 1.5 inch for each and 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I'm measuring I'm just adding my sewing allowance to that part, and I will draw out the sleeve opening for the kimono part of this dress. So here is what I have, and I'll blend it from that part up to the hem. So at this point, I'm ready to cut out my front pattern. So don't forget, this pattern is for both the back and the front. So for the sleeve opening, I think what I have there is a little bit wide for me, so I decided to take it up a bit. So I'll just cut through the armhole side here. Remember, we are cutting out the kimono part first, then I'll open it to trim out the sleeveless part. So this is my shoulder slope. Don't forget to add 1/2 inch to your shoulder slope while you are cutting on your fabric. So I'll open it up like this, and I'll finish up the armhole line I have here. So I'll just trim this off a bit so I can finish it up like this. So this is what my pattern paper is looking like, and yes, we are ready. The pattern is ready. So one side is kimono while the other one is sleeveless. So to cut out the back part, don't forget I said the back part has an overlap, so I'm going to be leaving like 4 inches or 5 inches before I place it. So this will be for the overlap part. Mind you, I'm supposed to cut fold this into two to cut, but because I said my pattern my dress, one is sleeveless, the other is kimono. So I'm going to be treating them separately. So guys, here I think I made a mistake, but don't be like me. You can just leave this part, but for me, I'm just going to be keeping this aside for now. Then I need to use it later. So if I'll advise you to not cut it because you are cutting for the back. You can just fold it in, then you release it while you are cutting for the front. So I cut it out so I can join it back later while I want to cut the front pattern. So I've gone ahead to mark my 5 inches, and from the crease line it will help you to know the midpoint. So I'm going to be placing the midpoint on that 5 inches, and I'll cut out the kimono part first, just the way I've shown you in this video. So here is the midpoint. So for me to be sure of what I'm doing, I'm going to indicate my neckline. So I want the width of the shoulder to be around 4 inches while I am done with this dress for this part that I have sleeveless. So I'm going to be notching that point. So I place the midpoint at the center like this, and from there I'll cut out this other part that has kimono. So you can decide to cut any other parts, any parts you want first, whether the sleeveless part or the kimono side of the dress. So I'll cut it out. I'm cutting out through the shoulder sleeve. And I'm done with the part that I have cut together with sleeve. So at this point, that point I told you that I want my shoulder to start from that 4 inches. So I'm going to connect it like this and mark it down to make my 5 inches. Remember I said it's an overlap dress at the back. The back part is going to be overlap. So I'll cut out this cut together sleeve together first, and I'll keep this aside. So mind you guys, while I was cutting it, this back pattern, this part I've cut is the right side that is facing me. So that means I'm not going to be turning my fabric upside down. It's still going to maintain the same position the way it is. So I'll just place the other part, the sleeveless part this time, and I'll also leave half an inch at this point. So let me place it very well so you see. I'm going to be adding 5 inches extra, just the way I did for the other side, for the overlap. So from the crease line, you will know the midpoint, yes. So I'll just measure to be sure of what I'm doing. So that's my overlap part of about 5 inches. And from this sleeve here, I'm going to connect it like so to meet it. So I'll be doing that with the help of my ruler. You can just use your free hand to finish this up. So let me cut it out like this. Just follow what you have here. I'll trim out the armhole, the shoulder slope, and also then I'll cut the overlap from the neckline. I'll connect it to make that 5-inch overlap at that center part there. So I am done cutting it out. What I'll do is from the part I mark, that point I mark at that time. So I'm just going to be connecting it like this for my 5 inches shoulder in overlap. Sorry guys. So I'm going to place my pattern to be sure of what I am doing. It's correct. Yes, it corresponds, and this is it. So I'll just cut this out. So this is what the back panel is going to be looking like after cutting it out. So I'm going to be lapping them like this. And remember I said the back part is going to have like a gather or ruffle. So the front part is just going to be straight. It's just the back part that will have ruffle. So I'm using my tape to check if it's well overlapped so that the back will not give or be looking funny. So I'll keep this aside and I'll work on the front part. So at this point, I'll bring in that pattern paper I cut off. I told you you're just supposed to fold it in and release it where you're supposed to when you are ready to cut. But mine, I mistakenly cut it out because I wanted to cut the back. So for this part here, you decide wherever you want your plate to be, and the plate, the slash I've spread, I want it to be like 4 to 5 inches. So I'm just going to be dividing what I have on my shoulder like this by 1 inch, and I'll connect from this cut together sleeve. That means my kimono part. I'll connect it from there like so. Just draw your line randomly, give it any shape, anyhow you want it to be. So I'll mark it like this. So I'm just marking randomly from this point here to meet the 1 inch I did at the shoulder area. So I think I have about 4 lines here. Yes, I'm okay with this. So the next thing I'll do is to cut it out. So guys, while cutting it, don't cut through, just cut and cut very close to the tip of your pattern paper. Don't cut it out through. So it will stress you if you do that. And at the same time, if you do not cut very well, if you do not cut close to the side of the pattern paper, it will not spread well to give you what you want. So this is what I have. I will just take this to my fabric and spread it there. So the table is small. I think I will be taking this to the ground so you guys can see it very well. So this is what I have here, and I'm also gonna have to put the full length of my pattern paper. So what I will do now is to cut it out. So I'm gonna have to cut it out, and I spread it out by I think about 2 inches. So I'm going to be putting the back panel on it to be sure if everything is in place. So I think I'm okay with what I have here. So this is what it looks like. So I am done with my pattern paper and also the other side of it. So guys, here I was supposed to cut this into two. I'm supposed to multiply what I have here by 2 because I want to please it. Guys, I totally forgot. I cut exactly what I have here. So guys, but at the end of the day, I was able to join it. So I'll just be pleating it around. So this is what I'll do. So I am going to be joining. I have joined to this, and that is what I'll be pleating to the back part of my dress. So because I don't have excess fabric, I just multiply what I have here by 2. So this is the back panel. What I'll do is to cut a facing for the back panel, that veil overlap. I iron it out. I repeated the same thing for the other side because I'm interfacing, sew it in and iron it out. So it's going to be having like a bed. So I also cut out a bed for it. So I'm just going to overlapping it by 4.5. Remember it's 5 and I've used half to sew it. So I'm left with 4.5. So I'm just going to be adding like a rope to that part. I'll add rope to the upper part so it will help me to hold my V in place. So I've gone ahead to attach my pleats, and yes, this is what my dress is looking like. It's taking shape, and I am done with the back part. I can just keep this aside, and here is the front part of my dress. So I'm trying to place them on each other properly. So I think I'm okay. I'll pin it down here at the side. So making sure everything is in place, I pin it down and I'll fold the down part of my dress. So after that, I'll place back the pattern paper on it. So to help me finish up the front part of this dress. place it back, and I'll check the shoulder if everything is in place, so that while I am joining the shoulder, one one part of it will not be bigger than the other. So in case there's any excess, I can just trim it out. So I have gone ahead to check this, and I am okay with what I have. So what I will do is, remember when I was cutting it, I added excess. That's for the upper part. This part that have extension, this part here will drape. So the part we slash and spread is the part that will fall in as part of my neckline. That is the cowl effect, that little effect there for the cowl. So for me to know the point to fold in for my cowl, I will be using my what I have on that shoulder part, that armhole part. So I just bend it in towards where it stops, and that is it. That is the point where my cowl will stop. So I'm just going to notch it. I'll notch it on both sides, or you can just use your chalk to indicate it. So from there, I'm going to fold around. You can decide to just fold this and flip it inward. So it's going to be inside your dress. So there's no point sewing that part. So this is what I measure it like this. I'm trying to repeat what I've done earlier. So check what I have here, where this thing stops. Yes, from that tip to wherever what I marked earlier. So from there, I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. I'm not trying to go through it over again. So another way you can just do this, and I'll bend it over. So guys, if you have watched up to this point, please, 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 guys, don't forget to hit on the subscribe button. Also, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. I'm just going to be joining the shoulder at this point. So from that my calf part, I will use it as my neckline to turn it like this. I'll use it to turn the back part. So I'll sandwich the back in between the cowl and the shoulder. Then I'll sew it down. So I am done sewing it, and this is what I have. Remember I said it's sleeveless. I'm not going to be attaching sleeve to this. And the other part is kimono. So it's cut together already. So I'll repeat the same thing for the other side, and I'll sew it. So I have sewn it. This is what I have. So, and here is the kimono part. I've also gone ahead to hem the sleeve opening of my kimono. So from this point, I'll just take it to my machine and join the sides together like so. And I'll also join the other side. So guys, we have come to the end of this tutorial. Please, please, and please, if you have not subscribed, guys, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So I'm just going to be attaching my belt. I forgot, so I just make an opening at that point. I'll attach it, then I'll take it to my machine and finish it up. So guys, this really came out very fast. See you in my next video.